maybe the next speaker, which I'm going to introduce, can bring some answers to all the problems related to fibroids and myomectomy. Can I have my slides, please? Next one. Okay. Here I have, before I introduce the next speaker, I have to let you have a look at this map of Asia, which features China in the center. And we are talking about a place called Chongqing, which appears like as a dot on this map. But if I choose another map, okay, Chongqing is the arrow here, is actually a province which they call municipality, meaning it has its own governance and corporate structure. Now, if I take away all these colors and look at it this way, it is actually not a small place. It's really a very huge area, as big as Taiwan and even South Korea, bigger than Hong Kong and, of course, Hainan Dao. Now, before I stepped foot onto Chongqing, I was very scared because my first time there was a few years ago. I thought it's still a very laid-back place, still backward, which toiletries, toilet facilities are limited. Maybe I can't find the food I liked, and I heard that they don't have motorized boats and they have to pull the boats by labor, manpower, up the rivers. And sometimes upstreams you get very strong young men, almost naked, because they're always wet pulling the boat. So that was my fear before I touched down into Chongqing. But when I arrived, it was really, really a culture shock. Something which I always said is Chinese wisdom or Chinese humility. Hide your strength and bide your time. And once I landed, this is the Chongqing I saw. Modern roads, lots of vehicles, modern buildings. And this is Chongqing in the evening, and this is Chongqing at night. Well lighted up. In fact, I think it's as good, maybe better than many of the modern cities I've seen. These are just crisscross expressways, one on top of the other. If you look at it, this is in Chongqing, and this is, I will tell you, is a GPS nightmare. At the bottom, you see there's something that looks like, in Singapore, we call it MBS, which Dr. Bay says I'm staying in one of this out there. Don't believe him. If you see a ship on top here, it is Singapore Marina Bay Sands. But in Chongqing, there are lots of boats down here and ships down here. And this is part of the Yangtze, the great Yangtze River. This picture on my right reminds me of my childhood days where I was growing up in the slums of Singapore, Chinatown. And when I look through the end of the streets, I see people's park exactly like this. So really something very similar to my childhood days.